Hey guys, Corrie here with a new scrapbook process video for you. So this one is a page that I've had sitting on my desk since January. January 9th actually. On January the 8th, my husband and I were excited to get to go to the national championship football game, which was University of Georgia versus University of Alabama. And my husband is a University of Georgia grad, so this was like big time for him. Not that he played football for the University of Georgia, but just that he went there. And this is very exciting. I'm sure y'all understand. So anyhow, I wanted to make sure that I had a page for this special day that we got to go. And so here's what I'm doing. The problem is that the colors of the University of Georgia are red and black. And then, there's like accents of gray. And those are not typically colors that I scrapbook because they're a little bold. And, red sometimes looks like blood, and that's kind of gross. But I figured I finally was like, I have to do this. So, what I'm going to do is, or what I'm doing is I'm using acrylic inks and I'm just painting stripes of the University of Georgia colors right on the background. I figured that's just an easy way to get the color on the page. So I'm using watercolor paper, and that is 9 by 12, and so I actually have about a ½ inch extra in my page protector to be able to add a little color to the side. I found this cool striped black and white striped paper, so just edge that down the side right there. And then we also got these cool commemorative tickets that came in the mail well after the game, and I wanted those on the page as well, so I figured I'd make this little pocket for them to sit in. So I just cut another piece of pattern paper, just the corner off, and I'm going to put that right on the corner so that my little plastic ticket things can always be on the page. So after having stitched that down, I'm trying to figure out the best kind of layout for this. Now those tickets were huge, and I really wanted them on the page. And so I'm thinking at first that I was going to use tracing paper and kind of make a flap for the photos. But then once I did that, I didn't like the way that you couldn't really see the tickets. And so then I'm like, okay, well, how do I get all of this to kind of work together? And I realized, and I didn't want the tickets to be covered, and so I realized that basically I needed to turn the tickets the other way and then layer my photos up. And this design here worked just a lot better, and I did like the way it turned out, enough that I went ahead and just barely tacked down those tickets so they wouldn't be moving all over the place. I didn't want them popping out and causing all kinds of problems, so I did glue this down just a little bit. And then once I've got my photos kind of arranged how I like them, I will go ahead and adhere those down as well. Now this is a football page. I don't have football embellishments, and I'm sure it's not going to use like hearts and flowers on this, that's not going to work. So other than a large title that's going to take up a bunch of space, I don't have a ton of embellishing to do, which made this page actually go pretty quickly once I had kind of settled on the layout of everything. So the title is just going to be pretty simple. It's going to be National Championship Game. I went through my stash and pulled out these gray thickers, and thankfully I had almost every single letter in capital to be able to use. I didn't have the second I, so I used a lowercase l, which worked just fine for the second I in championship. And then I had the white and black ones for national. So I was really happy that all of this worked together, or that I could find all these things in my stash. And then just to make sure all of my letters are going to stay on, I of course stitched them down. And I don't have a problem with stitching right into the photograph. I mean, the photograph's not going to go anywhere either. It actually just makes that better too. So I considered like what type of embellishment was going to work with a football page when I don't have football stuff. And even if I did, it would all be brown, so that's not going to work anyhow. So I sat there and can't do hearts, can't do flowers like I already said. So what was I going to be able to use? Because although I could just cut the whole page off with the title and more or less be done, there's no way I'm going to take this page and not embellish it a little bit more. I mean, that's like my favorite thing in the entire world to do. So after dating it, I did have to go back and just make sure I had the date right, and I added just a little tiny bit of journaling to the side of the photo. It didn't take very much, because I mean, in all fairness, this pretty much sums it all up. I decided that the best thing to use for my embellishments was going to be stars. So I went through my stash and found all kinds of different stars. I found these vellum sticker ones. Goodness only knows how old those are. And then these puffy sticker stars by Pink Fresh Studios. I also found this, there are also these old canvas stars. I was going to use rub-on stars, but then I just opted to not use those. That was just a little bit, it felt like overkill. And then these great little canvas wrap stars. I don't know if they're really wrapped, but they're layered. But those, sticky was not so great on those. So guys, yep, had to stick them down a little bit extra. I'm hoping that the hot glue sticks for those. It doesn't do great on the little rubbery pieces, but I'm hoping since these have chipboard backs that the hot glue holds this down a little bit more, because that's not going to be fun. So that's it, guys. That's my whole national championship page. It's a great memory. It's definitely something that I want in my scrapbooks, even though the colors and everything else was a little bit out of character for me, but you know what? It came together great. So I hope you like it. Thanks so much for watching. Leave questions in the comments, and you can find me creatively on Instagram at Corrie J Creative. Bye.